First on the agenda here is correspondence. I'll have the clerk read the letters. We have to, if you state who they're from, then
Okay, let's see where this is from. This is from Lori Simpson, a resident, homeowner, taxpayer of Fromberg, Montana. To Fromberg, Montana City Council, Acting Mayor Tim Nottingham. One, in the 64 years, probably have been acting, 6+ years has been acting mayor. What have you done to fix, not gravel repair, all town rock on both sides? The track, 2, in the 6+ years he has been acting mayor, what have you done to upsell Fromberg to bring in businesses? 3, in the 6+ years he has been acting as mayor, what has he done to fix the town budget? What were the number when he took over? What are they now? As Tim Nottingham as acting mayor, ever accomplished anything? Achiever, complete, successful, if yes, what, anything? That's very confusing. Just thank you. And then next is from Carrie Kerr, ED, dated August 2024. Dear our Mayor Tim, I wanted to thank you for your trying and helping pinpoint my rental, Grandma's old home at 102 8th Street. Hot water discovered overflowing problems 3 years ago, and for your ongoing, I can't read that, anticipating to address concerns. Boy, as I have had, I really do want you to know I appreciate your efforts.
Did we just get that letter from August?
Yeah, actually,
Well,
yeah. I think this is the first. This is one of the first things that came in when I came
in the mail.
In the mail.
Yeah.
Whatever she's talking about may have occurred in August of 24,
Yeah,
I'm thinking
not sure.
maybe.
Are
Not when it was.
these ladies here tonight?
I don't know.
That's my knowledge.
The first one is from,
First one was Lori, and the next one was Carrie Kerr.
is Lori here?
ED.
How about Carrie? No?
Lori Simpson.
No, not here. Well, just to let everybody know, I am not an acting mayor and have not been an acting mayor for a number of years. I've been a mayor for almost 3 years. I was an acting mayor for about 1 month when I was sworn in as the mayor. So, and as far as accomplishments, I think she just kind of needs to look around town and see the streets that we put in. We're digging up, tearing up streets now to get in water lines, sewer lines, and all kinds of stuff. That kind of stuff, just an ongoing process, and it takes years to get that stuff to go forward.
Yeah, we had the flood, it just kind of backed up everything
Yes.
through a monkey wrench.
It really has. It really has. Okay. Mayor Council.
Public comment for items.
There's a
Oh, you
public
just
comment?
skipped it.
You skipped
That's
just
on the
skipped it.
very first. I didn't see that.
Yes, you can get it.
Okay, go back up to the top. Public comment on items not on the agenda.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Who's it? Jerry?
Tim, I'd like to know why you guys are allowing this heavy equipment go across our streets and tear them up. The one went from Montana all the way to North Street, all the way to Beekers, at least 3 times with them cleats in the tracks. And down here by the lagoon, they came across and went to A Street. They're just tearing the streets up.
Yeah, because those streets only have about that much asphalt.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they were,
Well, they
so
are.
I'll have a talk with them.
They hauled them one time in the truck that I seen.
Okay. No? Thank you for
I just have a question about Minesburg Loop. Is it going to be paved, or is it going to remain gravel as it is now?
It will get paved, yes.
Okay, but probably spring. It's probably too late now in the year.
We're running late, so yes, it's probably springtime before we get to it.
Okay, thank you.
But yes, it definitely needs to be paved.
Mhm.
Otherwise, everybody will have dust and everything else, so we don't need that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yes,
Yes,
if you would tell us who you are, stand up.
I'm Jean. I live on Lovers Lane. I just wanted to say with the project, the river project, or water project for the water facility, that most of us there were not informed, for one thing, about when it was going to happen. We did not have any meetings. We didn't have anybody come talk to us about how it was going to be done. We had nobody come tell us when or if other changes were being made. Nobody. And a lot of those changes that were made affected a lot of us, especially on one end of my property. So a lot of the trees that tore out and weren't taken care of, he said that his guys are going to be in there looking a little bit and get that done. They did haul out the one big stump. The other thing was they tore up a fence and actually buried it. And so this is the price for new fencing. Or if somebody wants to donate 150 foot of fencing with posts, that's fine. You know, there's options that can be made. I just wanted to bring that forth because that does need to be fenced across there, because the horses and that will be running down the river, running down the road. You know, any other animals like a cow or that in there, they're going to be running around there too. So that's something that needs to be addressed. And I will leave the pricing and everything on here for you guys. But yeah, it would have been nice to have a little bit more communication with us, the owners of the land, between us. There wasn't hardly any unless I happened to call the mayor to talk to him. I heard nothing. They just did what they wanted. And that, to me, is not right. That should have never happened. It should have been communication between the landowners and the project manager, and it falls back to the mayor because he's the one that was actually up here, and then the project manager. So somebody should have came to us owners, told us what was going on, showed us the project, showed us changes, came and talked to us about it instead of just doing it. So it is not kosher with all of us down there. I can tell you that. So this is just one little tidbit of that. It is not right.
Is that something you guys think we ought to put on the next agenda?
I think you have to run that past your attorney. I don't think that's for us to.
I will run it by the attorney and see what he thinks. And then if we need to discuss it, we'll bring it to the council at our next regular meeting so that we can discuss whether we can do that or not.
Okay, and will you be sure to inform me when the next meeting will be and what we might have to do or whatever?
Second Monday of November.
So are you going on Mondays? I thought they were always on Tuesdays.
It used to be.
So now they're on Mondays?
Yeah, they're on Monday, second Monday.
Okay,
Second Monday.
okay. Of each month?
Each month.
Okay, I'll put that on there. But yeah, communication needs to be, we need some communication. If it doesn't work, and we have a lot of upset and mad people. And I know I'm not the only one down there right now that's very upset about all of it that costs us.
Thank you.
We have a question.
So I have kind of a topic of volunteerism, kind of addressed to you, Mayor Nottingham and Town Council. I can save it during that time on the agenda, or if you'd like me to read the letter right now.
Are you on the agenda?
No, but it
There's
has
a-
to deal with volunteerism.
We have volunteer on the agenda, so she can run it underneath that, or she can run it now.
Oh, if you wanna wait till then, you can do it now, that'd be fine.
Okay. Fromberg, Mayor Nottingham, and Fromberg Town Council. Thank you for the town of Fromberg for asking the Fromberg School to help volunteer with plant trees several weeks ago. It is extremely hard to get community involvement, and I completely vouch for the hard task. I try every day to get community stakeholders to help with different tasks and activities around the school. We have several great volunteers, and it makes my job as the school leader easier with great help. I interact and help with volunteers as I do not ask anyone to do anything unless I can also provide support in the task. Unfortunately, when the Stillwater Conservation Office called for support, or when the mayor's wife called, or when we were contacted by a council member, I had a meeting in Lockwood, so I was not able to attend on my behalf. I had Mrs. Cassie Peterson and Mr. Bill Cody bring 9th through 12th grade students down to the river for planting. We feel at Fromberg School that volunteering is a way to give back to our community and develop valuable skills. However, the experience can be very significantly depending on the environment and the people involved. In the case of students who volunteered their time, their experiences were tarnished by the domineering behavior of several volunteers. The initial motivation for students to engage in volunteer work often starts with being disinterested, especially if your parent or school superintendent give you an opportunity to volunteer. For some kids it's easy, for some it's hard. It just actually depends on the student and the situation. We as a school want our students to have a desire to contribute positively to society and the hope of gaining new experiences. Many students enter volunteer programs with enthusiasm, eager to make a difference and to learn from their interactions. However, when they are met with an authoritarian approach and those that think they are in charge, it has quickly soured their experience. In this particular scenario, the students were overseen by volunteers who exercised unlicensed authority without consideration for the students' feelings or contributions. The volunteers adopted a bossy demeanor that fostered an atmosphere of resentments rather than collaboration. The students who were initially excited to contribute their time and energy began to feel unvalued and disrespected. This situation illuminates a fundamental truth. Leadership in volunteering settings is not solely about authority. It requires empathy, respect, and the ability to inspire and certainly to communicate appropriately about the true vision for the desired outcome of the tree planting project. The negative impact of such treatment extends beyond the immediate discomfort felt by the students and staff. When individuals felt belittled and disregarded, it can diminish their motivation to engage in future volunteer opportunities. In this case, the students' enthusiasm for the volunteering could be significantly hampered, leading to a broader disinterest in community service. This is particularly concerning in an educational context, where the cultivation of civic responsibility is essential for fostering engaged and informed citizens. Additionally, the dynamics of play reveal important lessons about the nature of leadership and the overall mission you as a town are trying to portray to our great townspeople. Effective leaders recognize the value of collaboration and the importance of empowering their team members. Please remember that being kind to people costs absolutely nothing, but is a trait that is invaluable. No matter what the past holds, we need to focus on the future and lead by example to be kind to each other. I thank you for your time and thank you for serving the Fromberg community. Your time is valuable and thank you for sharing it with our school and community. In contrast, the negative volunteer used an approach that resulted in a power play that stifled creativity and initiative among the students and staff, and the good things they helped accomplish were washed away by a poor light of what volunteering should not look like. It is also worth noting that this situation serves as a reminder of the importance of positive communication in volunteering settings. Open lines of communication can help ensure that volunteers feel heard and appreciated. Again, thank you for inviting our students to volunteer their educational time to help their Fromberg community and the great folks that live in it. Sincerely, Jennifer Hickok, Fromberg School Superintendent.
Is that something we can talk about now, or do you want me to talk to you about it later?
Probably later.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have any comments?
Yes, I do. I do. I want to thank Bob for doing what you didn't do for several years. He got it accomplished real quick. That was very nice. I would like to know what you have done about the tree being cut down in the park. You're supposed to be an authority over the health. I see you drive a hell of a lot down Main Street, but I see no action. You know, there's weed eaters. If those limbs was in the way, whoever thought they were big enough to do that and destroy park property, I have no respect for whatsoever. And less for you for not being a good leader and taking care of our park the way you should have. I'd like to see you replace a tree. Oh, and don't smirk. You smirked at her, you're smirking at me. You're good at it when you think you're Astor's horse or whatever there.
Well, thank you, Marge.
You're just more than...
Yeah, I don't think we have no ordinance on trees, do we? Just for trim?
Well, we gotta keep
Not
them
spelled
trimmed
out.
and safe. Then I talked to Mark about what tree that he's gonna, I don't know, what tree he was talking about being cut down.
The park.
The one that fell over, he got out of there, and he was gonna, he said that every part of that tree was alive. I don't know.
It's the bottom of the good tree.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
There's the tree that your neighbor has.
Those were, thank you. That's what I
Thank
said.
you, I appreciate that. But I like to take care of that tree, but according to our ordinance, I don't think we can do anything about it. It's up to the landowner. You know who it is. 117.
It's all taken care of by me.
What, the tree?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you.
Okay, let's move on.
I have one.
Yes.
Will McCrean, local neighbor. Anyways, so last week I had approval for a fence, and then I wanted to see if I could get just an adjustment on the fence to be added to the agenda. It's everything, the app, everything's the same. Basically the fence is the same. I just wanted to add a little bit more because I think I'm going to have a little extra materials, and I don't want to necessarily have to wait until November meeting, which means I would have to wait until November to put the rest of the fence in. So is that something that I could add, just an adjustment to my plans? And I brought copies of the plans.
No. We have to, it has to be in the agenda item,
Okay.
so we can discuss that.
Oh, okay.
So we just make sure that you're on the agenda. But I'm not sure as far as a fence, does he have to get a permit?
Well, I have a permit from last time.
Yeah.
Here's the,
I don't remember anything in the ordinance saying that you cannot build a fence without a permit.
we haven't had that before,
Unless-
Dennison. We've had people that have built fences. Will brought a plan, and it's on the property line, and he was just gonna go. You're not going past your property.
No. No, I just want to extend down, just kind of in the front, on the front of the side, on the front side of the house, just a little bit more. I didn't wrap the whole house or whatever.
We've never had, this is the problem. I mean, I was flabbergasted when you came because somebody else builds a fence and nothing's ever said. And then he comes and there's something, you know, and I'm like, and now we're gonna make the guy wait another month even though it's on his property line?
I don't remember anything that we were saying anything about a fence.
Is there an ordinance?
Yeah.
I can't think of any, but
There
is
is
there an
not an
ordinance
ordinance on fence lines at this point in time.
that, if there's
You
other,
can make
Sweet.
your
is there for
I'll
height?
stay on the property line. Go for it, guys. Bring out your
Okay.
lasers and light it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody else have anything for me?
No.
Sweet, thanks guys, bye. Just trying to
That's what
add a little
I-
fun to the meeting.
You know what?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anything else for items not on the agenda?
I have just a question, just in the sense of since it came up in conversation.
Stand and,
Yes, my name is Andy. I was just curious, since he was talking about a fence, in the event that you want to set that as a standard, that you do go through the channels to build a fence. Is that what we're talking about right now? Starting that kind of thing, what is the height of a fence? And
We're talking about redoing, well, I probably shouldn't talk right now, we're not supposed to be a tree fence.
Okay.
Talk to
Yeah,
us
that's-
afterwards, I guess.
Sorry.
Nope.
If there's something that you need to,
No, it was a question,
fence
it was
or
a
whatever.
question. Is what it was a question.
Yeah.
as far as I know,
We'll
there
touch
is.
on it later down the road, if you stay.
Down the agenda.
Down the
Tonight.
agenda, okay?
Sure. Okay. Anything else for things not on the agenda?
I would like to say something. The water sewer project's great, and the river project, it appears, was probably not done properly. One's engineered properly. Who knows? It looks like a mess. But I think all those things are really great. However, for that side of town and the long-term problems, the only thing I've ever seen that's been done is putting that gravel down there so it can be put into a berm and put plastic on it, which could be negative in flood time, not positive. Because if the water comes down 3rd Avenue, we got a horrendous flooding problem. What I'm saying is, you know, all this looks great, but doggone nothing's been done for that side of the town. Everything else is for this side of the town. We might get some side benefits. I think it's about time there's some real planning going on by you. And that we get something done for long-term flood issues.
On our side of town.
That's
On
what I
our
mean.
side.
And I'm on your side.
Okay,
Exactly.
that's enough. That's enough now.
Something has to be done, and I'm tired of this foot dragging stuff. The idea of having something going through Harley's property, that was nothing. No, we just got a sort of an agreement, sort of blah, blah, blah. You know, the engineering possibility of coming down the railroad, well, no, but you could swing something over to 3rd Avenue and then pull it out somewhere. If nothing else, swing it back to the river. Anyway, there's been no discussion. This is serious business, and there's been nothing down. And you know, 2 years ago, there was this deal where, okay, it's just natural. No, it's not natural. The railroad and the ranchers have messed this whole thing up for a lot of years, 100 years or more. It's not natural. And for us to actually have a defense against the unnatural moves of those entities is the right thing to do, not the wrong thing. Don't give that natural stuff no more. That's a blatant lie. And I'm sick and tired of hearing it from you and from the Army Corps of Engineers. We have a town here, and it's about time you do something for us on that side. And do some planning, please.
Oh, thank you for your comment. Anybody else? Okay, let's move on. Okay. Mayor, council. Time the mayor and council members can bring a concern before the council that is not otherwise listed on the agenda. No action can be taken at this time. It is necessary, if action is necessary, the item may be put on the next meeting agenda. What do you guys got?
I'd like to know where we're at with the Public Works position.
You mean hiring a guy?
Well, that and the fact that you interviewed one guy and you brought another guy in on the interview who's also applying for the same job.
Yeah, we had to stop everything.
So you did not conduct the interview?
We did interview them. When the other application, we had to bring everything to a standstill. So everything's done, and at a later date, we'll decide when we're going to interview.
Can I ask why we haven't updated a Facebook hiring position on this? We've got a ton of people out of work at the mine and stuff like that.
Yeah, we'll probably get
And
a few more applications.
But the deal is if you don't update that Facebook deal, and you don't do it pretty regularly, about twice a week, it gets lost in the feed and people don't see it.
That would be up to them to do.
Well, we got to re-advertise, right?
Yeah, we'll have to re-advertise and put that position up. And we haven't decided on, I haven't decided on a time on when to open it back up. So, when that time comes, and we'll advertise and open it up.
So how long are we gonna postpone this deal?
Been postponing it for the last 4 months, so it may go for another couple of months.
So are you having a third person for city guy then, or just?
No. We're gonna advertise for a second person.
Well, what's that other guy doing then?
He's gonna go.
Oh,
not
he's
gonna
leaving?
work. Yeah. That's kind of where that's at. Anything else?
I just hate seeing this. If we're gonna advertise, we need to advertise and get it going. I mean, Joliet started advertising the same time, and they've already done their hiring as of October 1st.
Why are we dragging our feet, I guess? We approved to hire another public works guy. So why are we dragging our feet, I guess?
I mean, we just need to re-advertise and put it out there. I mean, if you, like I said, if you're not getting the applications, you really have to hit that Facebook and
Yeah.
share it a lot.
Yeah, I agree. We have to do that. But when the time comes to reset that, then we will advertise and get more applications in. It's not fair, and I don't know, people do not want to come to work for the town of Concord. We had one application. We kept waiting for a second. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. We're gonna have to start over. That's just the process.
So when are we gonna start over? I guess that's my question.
When are we
wanted
gonna
to do
start
this.
over?
When are we gonna do this? How long are we gonna drag this out?
I don't know, I'll decide sometime this week.
You were good
Yeah.
reading for somebody, no?
What's that?
I was gonna speak to Derek Shepherd at MMIA, is that what you're talking about?
Nothing there?
No, we got ready for the council meeting today, so today was not the day to call him.
In the meantime, I'm assuming you and Nate, since you did the last deal, you watched the video that Kirsten recommended, or did they do that?
I didn't have anybody watch the videos, no. I watched them,
Okay.
so with the clerk hiring, I made sure that we followed that process.
I highly recommend that everybody that's going to be on the hiring watch those. And in the meantime, we might get some HR training, because I'll tell you what, it's getting pretty bad.
And I don't know that the videos that I watched before, if they're still on the website, I haven't gone and looked.
Okay.
Unless you found out at your conference.
You know, I didn't, but I can find out about that. Like
Well, I
said,
can look for them right now. I hadn't looked to see if they were still on there. The ones I watched were way back in 2017, and that's the same process that I still follow
well,
today. But the process shouldn't have changed.
Can I use you?
Yeah.
In Denison's email today, he highly recommended that we have a plan put in place for who's going to be on the hiring committee, how it's going to be handled, and it is a written policy, not just a free-for-all.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I think we need to develop something like that, and so we don't wind up with this person here, this person there, and if you're going to be on the hiring committee, you have to be here when people are interviewed, otherwise don't sign up to be on the hiring committee.
That's a good point. Sorry to interrupt. But yeah, everybody's free to talk to me, especially about HR issues. They're very, very important. But if you have a hiring committee, that hiring committee has to interview everybody. One person cannot be gone. The next time there's somebody else there, it's got to be the same exact format, written procedures, usually hopefully written scores, very straightforward and neutral.
Yeah.
So,
And that's
yeah,
pretty good.
I'm sure
That,
fantastic.
yeah, and those
Yep.
videos, they don't appear to be on the website anymore, but like I said, they're pretty old, but the process
Okay.
is still the same. But yeah,
Okay.
that's how we did the
Yep.
clerk, and unfortunately, we did have one person missing from one of the interviews. It was a last minute thing, but we just had to go with it. We had the
Yeah.
interview scheduled, but no, we absolutely did. Everything was written down. We
Yeah,
scored
the
the
process is
applications,
the same.
everybody's
Yep.
scores are saved, and we'll save it for whatever the record retention is. Then we all scored the interview with the questions, and that's all saved as well.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yep, just follow that.
Yeah.
It's all done.
And I ran all the questions past Eric Shepherd at MMA
Oh, he's
too.
fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, so he knew what question, actually, I didn't run them past him, he gave them to me. They were all from him, and
Perfect.
same with the Public Works position. I have a whole bank of questions from MMIA over the years for Public Works. So they'd all be really good ones. And the same process would be used, or should be.
Okay. Anything else?
What is, I understand we're under DEQ violations and you're gonna get fined
Yes, we are.
for what?
Yeah,
Actually
for
goes
things-
back,
finding
Jay
the
did
claim.
not submit some paperwork in June
It was
his last
April or
year.
June.
Yeah. So we've been trying to get that to them, and we sent it to them. We did not get it. We sent it to them again, gave them warrant proof. And they knocked it down from 3,000 to 2,000, 3,600 to 2,000.
Was there no emails prior?
Yes. And he was trying to get that, but Jay didn't get it done. And then we got the same one.
We've had a
This
year.
would clear back into Jay, that we didn't.
Yeah,
that
it
we
was
did these
something that
violations?
Jay
The
did
letter
not.
notifying it though was just about March or April when I came on board. That what was missing from DEQ. But yeah, I think it was back to Jay.
We're trying to get all that done.
It's the, whatever the quarterly one is that has to be filed for chlorine. Maybe? DMR? Is that it?
Yeah.
Net DMRs, I think.
DMR or
Is that
something.
quarterly?
Oh, yeah. It's,
Yeah.
well, it's not quarterly.
Yeah, I think the monthly stuff is in. I think it was the quarterly one.
So we're 6 months out,
Yeah.
plus more?
Yep. So, we can only do what we can do. So just, you send it to them and wait for them to respond. And if they don't respond, you think everything's okay. And then when they do respond, then you know it's not okay. Then you redo it. You do whatever you gotta do to try to get it done. And that's where we're at.
But if you're having problems with it, we have 2 nearby towns that have very, very efficient
Well,
people.
I'm not sure if he worked with them, but he worked with, the other government agencies that have been coming in to help him with the water and sewer.
Montana Rural Water.
Yeah, Montana Rural Water. We've had 2 other guys here
That's what you mean?
several times to try to get this stuff done. So. Okay. If we do not have the sheriff's department here, special events application? No? Zoning application? No? Old business? No? New business? Approved town clerk treasurer, Michelle Hawes.
I move to approve the town clerk, Michelle.
Either way.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve Michelle Hawes.
Those are for later. We just put.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Boy, you're gonna regret it.
No, she won't.
Nah, you'll be fine.
Okay, now we need to change the signatory authority on all bank accounts. Bank of Bridger and Valley Federal Credit Union. So we need a motion to change that so we can add Michelle to that.
I move to add Michelle to Bank of Bridger, Valley Federal Credit Union.
And remove me.
And remove Kristen. Kristen, sorry.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to remove Christian and add Michelle. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. Okay, approved quote for the well meter and pipe replacement.
What is, I guess, this pertaining to?
What's that?
What is this pertaining to? I mean, I knew nothing.
And Mark gave us.
I knew nothing about this.
Well,
All
right.
we knew-
Well, what has happened down there is the main water line, you know where your chlorine injection is? That pipe, there's about a 6-foot section of pipe in our pump house that is corroded, and they said it needed to be replaced.
And the
One.
meter.
And, yeah.
The meter's on here too.
Yes, the meter also, because as the water was surging this summer when we had low water, and we was having problems with the well, it destroyed the meter.
Well, Mark told us when he gave us the quotes that there's 2 separate quotes. One for the meter itself, and I just accidentally closed mine down, so now I don't have them to look at. One for the meter itself, and then the other one was for the piping.
Yep.
And Mark thought both needed to be done, but he did get 2 separate quotes in case you didn't want to do both. That's my best guess.
But is this the only place that we got quotes from?
Yeah.
We got quotes out of Belgrade. Why didn't we get quotes out of Northwest Pipe or any place in Billings?
I don't know, I couldn't answer it.
I mean, usually we always go for multiple quotes before we just... And I guess, did we ever figure out what was wrong with the wells, why they were cavitating? Did anybody get a hold of...
They never did come out, they wouldn't come out, couldn't get them to come out.
Did you ever call out?
However, now that the river's up, we don't have that problem.
Okay, I talked with, actually Paul Steinmetz is still with Aqua Drilling for the time being. He did sell the company, but he's still on for the next couple of years, helping them transition and do what he can. And I was kind of asking him about what he thought. First of all, I asked if anybody had contacted him, and they said no, nobody had contacted him from the town about coming over to check the pump wells. His main suggestion was, part of our problem on the cavitation could very much be that our screens are plugged, which he said is a very common issue when
They
they go through a
pulled the
flood.
plug and checked the screens.
We did have the pumps pulled.
The one pump was pulled and checked the screens. Everything was good.
Who pulled the pump?
Whoever they run down here to pull a pump.
Oh, because you just said we couldn't get nobody to come down here.
Well, we wanted them to do a flow test.
Oh,
We wanted
okay.
somebody to come and do a flow test.
But they did pull
to
the
figure it
pumps.
out. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm
Yeah.
asking, because Paul said that was a very common issue, that these,
Yeah.
when we go through, especially through floods and stuff like that, he's had it going all over the place after floods, stuff like that, because of the change in the groundwater and the ground system, it brings in a lot more silt. And a lot of times, the screens can get plugged, which can cause the cavitation on the pumps.
That, yes. I was visiting with another gentleman that does that kind of stuff too. He said that the slits in the pipe might be corroded. But they seem to be working now.
Because the water came up.
Well, that or I was thinking maybe when they were digging in the river down there, whatever, that flood may have created a barrier of some kind. I don't know.
Paul just said it was very common that they could have silted the screens in. That's why he was asking about it. And that's why I was asking, did anybody comment? But as far as this goes, I mean, I understand, I know exactly what you're talking about needs to be replaced. The pipe is old, it was old before.